Hi, Warren from Yoga with Warren here. My good friends at the Kamloops Y are helping me to make a video. So today's yoga class is just going to be a gentle, beginner-friendly yoga class, a short one, probably 40 to 45 minutes. And for this class, if you're going to join me, ideally, if you have a foam block, that would be wonderful. And then bolster. And if you don't have this, perhaps a couple of cushions, maybe from your couch, we'd be able to simply make do with that. And perhaps a blanket if you'd like for when you're seated, a little support, or perhaps using your foam block. And it might be useful for Shavasana. So if you want to pause the video and gather any of these items that you need, now would be a great time to do so. Maybe making sure that you have some water if you're going to want to drink water partway through. And then when you're ready, you can rejoin me. Alrighty, so we have all the props that we need. Then let's come to a comfortable seated place. We can sit down. If you'd like a little bit of support, you can maybe take a folded blanket or a foam block and just bring it behind you for a little support there so that we can straighten our spines up and have room to breathe. We'll begin today's yoga class with just a little bit of deep breathing, slow our nervous system down. And allow ourselves to fully arrive and be present on our mats. So if you haven't already, please come to a comfortable seated position, whether it's cross-legged, legs straight, or maybe one of each. While we go through our yoga practice today, if anything at all seems as though it might be unsafe or just not right for you, then I would encourage you not to do it. Always listen to your body. For now, though, let's take a moment and really just focus on our breathing. So you can feel free to close your eyes and turn your attention inwards. It's all the same. You can inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. So as we slow our breath down and we shift it all the way down to our bellies. On our inhales, our bellies can really expand, hopefully. When we exhale, we'll do so just as slowly. So just continuing that same deep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth if you can. If you're a little stuffed up, allergy season or whatever, and just breathe in whatever way is most comfortable for you when our bodies are relaxed. And our minds as well. We'll naturally breathe that way, slow and deep all the way down to our bellies. And if we put a conscious effort into breathing that way, oftentimes our bodies and our nervous systems and our minds will just begin to follow suit. It's my understanding that when we're fully relaxed, that's when our immune systems can really kick in to properly protect us. So it's especially good these days. Make sure that our bodies have the time to really properly rest, relax. Our immune systems can kick in to protect us from any viruses that might be going around. It's not to say that we shouldn't follow all the directions from our health authorities. I'm just saying this might be a bit of a help for us. If it's part of your yoga practice to set an intention at the beginning, whatever it is you might be hoping to take away from your yoga practice today, now would be the perfect time to set that intention if you'd like to. If you've closed your eyes, let's slowly start to bring our awareness back to the present moment. While our bodies are relaxed, it's the ideal time to take a few restorative poses. Our soft tissues, tendons, ligaments, fascia, all of that gets the most benefit from our restorative style poses when our bodies are relaxed. So if you're sitting on a cushion or something like that, let's set it aside. We're going to get ready to come down onto our backs. Before you do though, maybe just take a look at where I'm going. If you're not familiar with doing the eagle pose in a relaxed way on your back, once you come down on your back, of course, you're not going to be able to see me. So we're going to lay down, bending our knees, crossing one over the other. Some of you that are quite flexible may even be able to hook the one foot in behind around the other calf. And I'm sorry, I can't demonstrate that. We're also going to combine it with the eagle arms. So perhaps we're simply grabbing opposite shoulders. If you're feeling sensation doing this, then this is probably enough. If it's available to you, you might want to bring your hands into the eagle arms, and that's with the elbows hooked. Bring your hands together. So we're looking for inward rotation in our hips and in our shoulders. So when you're ready, if you'd like to come down on your mat, join me. We'll take about a minute or so on each side. Do a little bit of a relaxed eagle pose. So crossing one leg over the other. We can either grab opposite shoulders or hook our elbows. And returning to our deep breathing. So the benefit occurs in our bodies when we're feeling sensation, but it's not so intense that we're feeling it as pain. Little sensation is good, pain of course is not. That's our body's way of letting us know that we should not be doing something. At least in our gentle yoga class. Other styles of exercise, of course, different rules might apply. But here today, if you're feeling pain in any way, we should immediately come out of our poses. So long as we're feeling a little sensation, we're relaxed, we're breathing deeply, just enjoying the stillness, gentle tension in our soft tissue for a longer period of time is how our bodies get that message to make our soft tissue both more flexible and more durable. And let's slowly start to uncross our arms and our legs. And when you're ready, if you need a moment before we do the same thing on the other side, feel free to take that time if you need it. Otherwise, when you're ready, we're simply going to cross our arms and legs the other way and return to the same pose. So again, back to the deep breathing if you can. Slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, all the way down to your tummy. And let's begin to uncross our arms and legs once again, and just taking a moment with your arms spread wide. You can uncross your legs and perhaps take a moment to windshield wiper your knees side to side. We just want to alleviate any tension in our shoulders and our hips from the previous pose before we move on. When you're ready, let's come back to seated. And get ready for a reclined butterfly. So your foam block and your bolster, or perhaps a couple of cushions off your couch, whatever you have on hand. We want to make ourselves a little ramp that we can recline on. So at the far end of our yoga mats, if we put something there, lean cushion or a bolster against it, we have a little ramp. And then we can come back to seated, perhaps sitting on a foam block or a blanket if you need a little support for your lower back. We're going to come into the butterfly pose, so that means bringing the soles of our feet together and allowing our knees to flop open. So if you do find that this is a little bit too intense, you can always prop your knees up with some additional props that you might be able to gather around your house, foam blocks, blankets, cushions, whatever you need. And if you don't, then you can just allow your knees to just flop open there. And also, if it's available to you, we're going to open up our shoulders by reclining down onto our little ramp that we've made, opening our arms up wide. And just like the previous pose we were in, we're hoping for a little sensation in our hips and shoulders, but now the opposite direction with respect to opening rather than the inward rotation, the outward rotation of our hips and shoulders. Just settle in here and relax with some deep breathing. So again, if it's available to you, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Slow and relaxed. And anytime we come out, anytime we come out of our longer held restorative style poses, we want to do so very gently and very slowly. So taking your time when you're ready. As I said, there's no hurry. Use our hands to help our knees, either lifting them up towards center or perhaps just gently straightening your legs. Roll up to the side. Make our way back towards seated, giving our thighs a little massage. Perhaps our shoulders a few rolls. Or maybe if you need to, you could take a moment for a counter pose as though you're sunning yourself at the beach. Windshield wipering your knees, arching your spine back. Whenever it comes to our counter poses, there is no right or wrong. It's just about relieving any tension from the previous pose we were in. So always listen to your body, do what you need to do. Let's get ready to come forward onto our hands and knees for some cat-cows. So if you have any sensitivity in your knees, feel free to put an extra fold in your yoga mat, or maybe spread a blanket across that you can kneel on. Hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. Let's start to flow. We can inhale and drop our tummies down, and exhale to raise our spines up. Just flowing back and forth in time with our breath. tummies come down, we're the cow, and when our spines rise, we're the scared Halloween cat. Just flowing back and forth in time with your breath. And the next time our spines are passing through neutral, let's stop there. And we'll get ready to move on. So we're going to come back to seated, getting ready for a twist. So again, if you'd like a little support while you're seated, feel free to set a cushion or a blanket there. Come back to seated. If you want to stretch your legs out front, we can bend our right knees. You can straighten your spine up by giving your knee a little tug. If you'd like to, you're certainly welcome to cross your legs, but it's just an option. So if our right knee is lifted, let's take our right arms around behind us, straighten our spines, and exhale to twist our spines, turning our shoulders to the right, following our shoulders with our chins if we want to. Always leading with our shoulders if we can. And just as we started with, same deep breathing all the way down to our bellies anytime we think of it. Let's relax back towards center, straighten our legs, and take a gentle counter twist the other way. And let's get ready to do the same twist on the other side. So if you would like to bend the other knee, so again, we can tug on our knees to straighten our spines up taller. The option is there if you want to cross your legs, but of course, just an option. So with our left knee bent, we can take our left arm around behind us and then get ready to twist to the left, keeping our spine straight, leading with our shoulders. Returning to our deep breathing. Now let's relax back towards center, straighten our legs, and take a gentle counter twist the other way. We'll come back again to center. And then we'll get ready for a seated forward fold. So with our legs stretched out in front of us, let's take a moment to really straighten our spines up. And perhaps this is where we stay, but if we can, maybe we can grab a hold underneath our knees. Maybe we could grab our ankles or perhaps even our feet. With our spine straight and tall, we can start to become a little more active. Let's inhale with our breath to straighten our spines, and then exhale to hinge at our hips, holding just a little further if we can. We can repeat this process, inhaling to straighten, and exhaling to fold further. Breathing ourselves into the pose. And in all of our poses, it doesn't matter exactly how they look, unless it's of particular importance to you, and that's your own thing. But really what I'm concerned about today is sensation in our poses. When we're at the edge of sensation where we're feeling something, but it's not painful, that's where our biggest benefit to our bodies comes from. So slow, deep breathing, a little more active, breathing ourselves into our fold. All right. Let's relax back out of our pose, straighten our spines up, give our shoulders a few rolls. Perhaps arch our spines back the other way. And coming to a comfortable seated place, whatever that looks like for you. Perhaps your legs remain straight, or maybe you'd like to sit cross-legged. We're just going to take a moment for a brief seated gate pose. So if you want to straighten your spine up, we take our right hands up to the floor beside us and our left hands up towards the ceiling. Let's exhale the side bend over to the right. And before we come back up, let's root down with that right hand and push back into our ribs to deepen our side bends. Looking for a little sensation all down the left-hand side of our bodies. Breathing deeply into it. Having a peek up at the ceiling underneath our arms if we can. And let's come back up again, and we'll get ready to do the exact same thing on the other side. So left hand to the floor and right hand to the ceiling. Let's side bend over the other way. Exhaling ourselves into the pose, and then rooting down. We can push back with our left hand, deepening the sensation in our ribs on the right. Having a look at the ceiling under your arm if you can. Right back into our deep breathing. And we'll come back to center again, giving our shoulders a few rolls. We're going to get ready to come forward onto hands and knees, transitioning into downward dog. So if we are sitting on something, let's set that aside for now. Stretch those fingers wide apart, rooting down with our palms. Bending our knees one at a time, playing with bringing our heels closer to the floor behind us, lowering our shoulders. And of course, all the while continuing the same deep breathing if we can. And if this is a little bit too intense for your wrists, or doesn't work for you for some other reason, of course, a child's pose is a great alternative. And then when you're ready to start to head towards a forward fold, a standing one, let's begin to walk our hands to our feet or our feet towards our hands. And we can take a moment here, perhaps resting our hands on a foam block, perhaps gripping our toes or ankles, maybe crossing our arms to sway gently side to side. You can always keep a little micro bend in your knees to keep them from hyperextending, or for a little support for your low back. Resting your tummy on your thighs. I know it's tough to breathe into your tummy while we're doing this, but as slow and as deep as you can keep your breathing. When we come out of this, we want to do so very slowly, and we only want to rise while we're inhaling. So slow, deep breath as we inhale ourselves up. This might even take us a couple of deep breaths to make it all the way up to standing. As we do, we can roll our shoulders back and take a few deep breaths in our mountain pose. So feet hip distance apart, feet rooted down, thighs engaged, spine straight, shoulders back, chins level. Yeah, let's come into our Prana Namaskara flow. So let's start with our right foot forward, left foot back. We'll be flowing, starting in a warrior one stance. So that back foot turned a little more forward. Hips rotated towards the front of our mats. A little bend in our front knees, spine straight and tall. When we're feeling comfortable, let's bring our hands to our hearts, but placing our palms on our hearts and lifting our elbows. And then we're going to flow in time with our breath. So when you're ready, let's inhale to open up. Turning our palms down, we can exhale our hands down and back. Turning palms forward, we can inhale to raise our hands up. Exhale to side bend to the right. Inhaling up and exhaling over to the left. We'll inhale to rise back up again and exhale our hands back to our hearts. Let's inhale to open. Bring our right palms back. Let's twist to the right with an exhale. We rotate our palms. We'll inhale back to center and exhale the other way. Rotating our palms again. We'll inhale back to center and then bring our hands back to our hearts. Let's relax our hands back down again. Stepping our feet together, we can roll our shoulders back. We'll take a few deep breaths in our mountain pose before we repeat that. With the opposite, the left leg forward this time. So warrior one, with our left foot forward. Hips to the front, hands to our hearts, lifting our elbows. Let's flow in time with our breath again. So let's inhale to open up. Bring our palms down. We can exhale our hands down and back. Palms forward. We can inhale our arms up. And exhale our fingertips to our shoulders, lifting our elbows. So inhale to rise up again and then side bend to the left with an exhale. Inhaling up and exhaling over the other way. We'll inhale back up again and then exhale our hands back to our hearts. Let's inhale to open. Bring our left palms back. Let's twist with an exhale. We can rotate back through center and exhale the other way. And again, we'll return back to center. Let's bring our hands back. Relax our arms down, step our feet together. And again, a few deep breaths in a mountain pose, checking in with our bodies. Using these deep breaths to just examine how we're feeling in this current moment. Before we start to wind down, let's challenge our balance with the tree pose. So let's pick a standing foot and we can plant it, rooting down, putting all of our weight into that leg. You can start with whichever one you'd like. We'll straighten our spines up, turn the other knee to the side and lift our heels. Your toes could stay on the floor, or perhaps setting your foot on your calf, or even putting your foot on your inner thigh if you'd rather. And anytime you're feeling solid, if you want to bring hands to your heart or raise them up towards the ceiling, feel free. We'll just, of course, continue that same deep breathing we started with. And let's come down, give our standing legs a little shake. And when you're ready for the same thing on the other side, plant your foot, yourself rooted down, check your core. We'll turn our knees and lift our heels. We'll maybe set our feet on our calves or our thighs. And whenever you're ready, you can bring hands to your heart or up to the ceiling if you'd like to. Once again, back to our deep breathing. When you're ready, we'll come back down. Legs a little shake. And we're going to get ready to come down onto our mats. We're going to make ourselves another little ramp here. We're going to wind down with a deer pose twist. So with that ramp, if we come down and we sit with our knee up to the side, our hip close to the ramp, so we're kind of sitting sideways on our mats. We'll keep our knees bent. The top leg can go further back. We turn our shoulders to face the mat in front of us. And we can gently start to lower ourselves down. A moment to just relax and breathe deeply here. Supported by the block and bolster beneath us. And when you're ready, let's slowly, gently push ourselves back up so that we can bring our knees back together and get ready to do the same thing on the other side. So both knees towards the other side of our mats. The top one goes further back. Shoulders to the bolsters in front of us. Pillows, whatever you have to support you. We can relax back down again. And return to our deep breathing. Once again, when you're ready, let's rise up a little bit and Just set our bolsters and blocks nearby. A moment coming down onto our backs. Windshield wipering our knees side to side. Or any other counter poses or movements that you might want to do before our final relaxation. Perhaps grabbing your ankles or your feet for a happy baby. Perhaps taking a moment doing thread the needle on each side. If you'd like to, a sip of water. When you're ready, making yourself as comfortable as possible. So perhaps that might be laying flat on your back. Perhaps it's taking the bolster and sliding it beneath your knees so that you have a little support for your low back. Or using the blanket as a pillow if you have one. Or perhaps if you're a little cool, spreading the blanket out upon yourself. So just taking that moment to make yourself as comfortable as you can. The more comfortable you are, the deeper that you're going to be able to relax. The more relaxed you are in Shavasana, the better your body is able to assimilate all the benefits from your previous poses and movement and breath work. So with that in mind, if you can, allowing yourself to completely relax. Scanning your body from the tips of your toes all the way back up to the top of your head. Examining all the sensations you come across, allowing any little bits of tension to relax. Allowing your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Closing your eyes or softening your gaze if you feel comfortable to do so. Just taking a moment in stillness to fully, deeply relax. Of course, if you prefer a longer Shavasana, please feel free to take as long as you'd like. Of course, in this circumstance, your time is most certainly your own. I'd like to leave you today with a closing Om. If you'd like to join me for a cleansing breath. So big inhale and a big exhale. And then we'll inhale the Om. Namaste.